What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So as you could already tell by the title and the thumbnail, we got some issues with my Sportster with the newly put in Hammer Performance 1275 motor. So real quick, last week I had it out for the first initial ride, which according to Hammer is 1 mile ride. Had it out, she performed great as you would expect. Fast forward to this week, I had it out, did like 2.5 miles, riding perfectly, and then she just died on me. Of course, I wasn't recording, so let me get right into what was going on. I would be riding, at this point the choke was off, I would be riding down the road and all of a sudden it would just do like a quick little sputter, and like as quick as your natural reaction is to get onto the throttle to like, hey, it needs more fuel, it would just shut off and then come to a complete stop. Try to fire it back up, it would just crank. So that kind of leads you to either fuel or ignition source, which obviously we did change the ignition and the timing in this. So the first thing that comes to my mind is, oh shit, something's messed up here. But then, you know, you think about it and you're like, well, the bike fired up, ran through all the heat cycling perfectly fine, ran the first mile fine. It ran, you know, yesterday when I had it out, the first 3.5 miles perfectly fine with no issues. Obviously then you think carburetor. As you could tell, we didn't have any issues through this part of the process, other than, I should preface this by saying, the last video when we did do the final heat cycling, the fuel hose was leaking a little bit. Obviously the fuel line's original and the bike's 23 years old now, so that was one thing that I thought I definitely want to change. So we ended up just throwing a hose clamp on it, and that was the only difference between my 1 mile ride and the couple mile ride that I did, was we threw a hose clamp on the fuel line by the petcock just to keep it from leaking, because my 1 mile ride I did notice the fuel hose was leaking again. I was going to replace the fuel line on it anyway. At this point I'm going to have to dig into why this thing's dying, and perhaps maybe this is the reason why it's dying. I don't know yet. So we're going to run some like quick down and dirty diagnostics. Luckily I was only like about half a mile away from my dad's house, so I was able to kind of get it running. You know, if I would let it sit for 5 seconds, she would fire back up, but then after like 10 seconds, give or take, she would die immediately again. So I was able to kind of just fire it up, throttle it up, jam it into gear, and just kind of get up to speed as quick as I could before it shut off, so I could leave it in neutral or hold the clutch in and coast as far as I could where I didn't have to walk it as far. I did reach out to Hammer Performance and kind of just gave them symptoms that I was having. They kind of agree with a fuel issue, so they gave me some things to kind of just run through and check. We're gonna try to start it and see if it does what it was doing yesterday, Hammer Performance kit or not. Hopefully this video might be able to help some of you guys, depending on what the actual issue is. It could have been user error of us putting it back together. You know, I don't rip these things apart every day, and I'm by no means a trained mechanic. Enough of me rambling. Let's try to fire this up and see what happens. Turn the ignition on, run switch. Alright, so you can tell she's running. Now, right there you can kind of see where the hose clamp is. Now, of course, in typical fashion, it's probably going to run great because it's on the left. Nope, there you go. My first initial impressions of that dying like that is, okay, it's very cold, might need a little bit more choke. So let's give it a little bit more choke. Let's fire it up and see what happens. So voila, gave it a little bit more choke, fired right up. She seems to be purring fine. Obviously it's a higher idle, but then boom, just like that, she dies. So that's about where we are. I'm not really necessarily worried about the ignition, because obviously it's getting spark because it's firing up with no problems, no issues, and it's idling and sounding perfectly fine. So again, I'm thinking fuel. Now you can tell the fuel's on. I probably can't get you guys up here good, but I literally just filled this up the other day. I don't know if you'll be able to see that without a flashlight. The other thing too to note is worried about fuel vent hose possibly being blocked. If you come down to our fuel vent hose, you can see this is completely clear, unobstructed back to where it goes. So right there, fuel vent, I'm gonna write off as not an issue. One of the things Hammer told me was when the bike is running, take off the air cleaner and look into the carburetor, give it some throttle and see if the accelerator pump is working. Right now, I'm gonna pop off this outer ham can and get the filter and all that off. We're gonna try that next and go from there. That's just, you know, obviously one of the first initial things to check that Hammer recommended. Let's pop this off and see what we got. So I popped off the ham can and the filter. We're gonna leave it just like this for this demonstration purpose. Choke is still out, so we're just gonna go ahead, fire it up. So I'm gonna try to wait for it to die, and right before it dies, I'm gonna try to give it a blip of throttle. Well, she died real quick before I could really blip the throttle, but I did blip it right as it died. Fuel came out of the accelerator pump, so no matter what, I got to take this back plate off because like I said, I want to replace that main fuel line back there, so we're going to be doing that anyway. Let me do that and catch back up. So here we are, got the carb off. So I emailed Hammer with the updated findings that the accelerator pump seems to work. Still trying to hear back more from them. However, they did ask, they're like, hey, did you take the top of the carb apart by any stretch? And I said, yeah, I did. I added a chrome cover. And then they're pretty much like, that diaphragm's very tricky. So I went ahead, I already popped this off. I did this off camera. The diaphragm looks to be completely normal. The diaphragm's laying in its channel all the way around, like the little cutout for it. It appears to be laying in there perfectly fine. Didn't look like it was pinched anywhere. So I kind of just put that back on just to hear back from Hammer and see what they say. I'm gonna go ahead and replace this old fuel line. I'll have a link down below in the description for the 1/4 inch inside diameter by 1/2 inch outside diameter fuel line. I got it off JP Cycles. It was super cheap. It was like $4 or $5. So I'm gonna work on that in the meantime till I hear back from them. The other thing is I wanted to check the vacuum pressure on my petcock. However, I cannot find my hand vacuum pump. So hopefully I can find that and at least check the petcock and write the petcock off as not an issue. I'm gonna go ahead, cut this clamp, remove the clamp from the petcock, pull this out, get the actual measurement, and just cut a new piece of fuel line to the exact length of this one. So I'm not gonna really show you guys that because that's pretty simple. So that's what I'll be doing. I was able to find a piece of fuel line around that we were able to kind of just suck on with our mouth to check the petcock, and the petcock is working perfectly. There's nothing hooked up, and I turn the fuel on. It's not draining because there's no suction. And then when we hooked up the line and just kind of sucked on it and turned the fuel line on, fuel flew perfectly. So we're gonna say that the petcock is good. Was able to find a little piece of hose, fuel hose, to replace part of that VOES line. So let's see what we got. Alrighty guys, so I got bad news. We didn't even do anything that, in my opinion, that could make the situation worse, other than me breaking the choke cable. But hey, at this point, when it rains, it pours. And there's nothing you can really do about it. We're not gonna get into how I broke it, other than, you know, I was maybe doing a little righty-loosey, lefty-tighty kind of situation. Obviously, like I said, when it rains, it pours. Shit happens. We're just gonna keep trying to work through it. At this point, this thing is doing nothing but crank. Pop the cover off for the ignition, The ignition's still lighting up, so it's getting power. So like I said, other than me breaking the choke cable, all I did was replace the main fuel line and the VOES vacuum line. The one hose was dry rotted. That's literally all I did today, and checked the diaphragm. And now all I'm getting is crank and absolutely no start.
Several days later.
What's up, guys? It is a new day here. Sportster's still on the lift, but we found a solution. Full tank of fuel. We tested the vacuum on the petcock, holds vacuum, and then we tested it, make sure we were getting good flow. Good flow. I replaced the fuel line and the vacuum line. So from there, we go to the carb. We verified that the accelerator pump is working. We verified that the diaphragm did not have any holes or tears in it, and we verified that the slider was functioning properly. We dropped the bowl on the carb to make sure there was no foreign objects in there. And then from there, we obviously went to the coil. We tested both sides of the coil with a multimeter, looked up those specs online. That was reading normal. So from there, we went back down to the Dyna 2000 ignition that we put in, and the lights were on for that, so we knew we had power down here. And then we tested the coil wires up at the coil, and those were showing voltage. However, when we did the Dyna 2000 ignition, I really wanted to keep it OEM as possible. By that, I mean the wires that come off of the coil, I wanted to tie straight into the Dyna 2000i. The Dyna 2000i comes with new wires that you can route up and use a ring terminal to hook up to the coil, but I think that kind of just looks cheap. I like those stock elbows better. My plan was to run the wires and then pretty much solder them into the stock wires that go up to the coil. So that's what we did. Obviously now when we soldered them together, used heat shrink over them, and then wrapped them up and tucked it back up underneath. However, I think, as you guys know with soldering, sometimes it can be finicky. I think that's what our issue was. So today we pulled that wiring back underneath, pulled all the electrical tape off, and when I had the ignition on and I was pinching the wires, I could see the ignition lights going on and off. So I kind of knew there was a short somewhere in that soldering job we did. So what I did is I bought a kit off of Amazon, which is a Deutsch connector kit, which is originally what that plug was for the stock ignition. It was a Deutsch connector setup, and we just cut out the solder joints, put Deutsch connectors on both ends, and plugged it back in. And voila, like nothing ever happened. Bike fired right up, and where I was saying earlier, the bike would die after 5 to 10 seconds. We had it running for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. She's running just fine. Let me show you that Deutsch connector kit, and then I'll fire up the bike and show you how we have the problem resolved. So over here at the workbench, this is the kit that I bought for 35 bucks. Came with all the terminals, male and female, and then came with a whole assortment of plugs and everything. It also came with this pick to undo Deutsch connectors, and came with a Deutsch connector crimper. So like I said, for 35 bucks you get all this, and kind of wanted to keep it OEM as possible, like I said, so why not convert it back over to a Deutsch. So for what you guys have been waiting for, you guys probably want to see this thing fired back up. Might need to choke it a little bit. And as you guys knew the other day, I broke that choke cable, so we put a new choke cable on it right away. All right, let's fire it up. Bam! There you go, just like that. Fired right up as quick as I hit the button. And as you can tell, it would have already shut off by now. And I can... Before that would even kill it, so thank God that is fixed. Now I just need to wait for a nice day where I could ride it home. Nonetheless, if you guys do a Hammer Performance kit on your Sportster and you're adding the new Dyna 2000i ignition, do one of two things, please. Take my advice. Either convert it right to a Deutsch connector and plug it right back in and keep it OEM, or just do yourself a favor and run the new wires up to the coil and be done with it. Don't try to solder it, because soldering can definitely add a lot of variables to have issues and whatnot. So take my advice and either Deutsch connector it or just run the new wires and be done with it. So that's going to conclude this video with troubleshooting the Sportster dying on me. Thank God it was just an easy, stupid fix like that. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to smash that like button, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon so that way you guys get notified when I post new videos like this one. And until the next one, peace.